going through the 10 best brawlers that you should max out right now and play in this Brawl Stars season. Coming in at number 10, we got my boy Doug Gaming. Now, Doug's rework made him jump from the F tier to a solid A tier. What I personally like about Doug is that he's a support brawler who can also go aggro and deal a crazy amount of damage because he literally has the health of a tank, dude. Doug's hypercharge also allows his teammates to mimic his attack when they have the hot dog thing. So that's just a complete different story of why this brawler is broken right now. And if you decide to max out Doug, definitely take advantage of his abilities. The fast food star power, for example, was part of Doug's rework, and it allows him to fully heal after reviving a teammate. So it can be incredibly useful in aggressive matches when you're low in health and end up reviving a teammate. And don't even get me started with this gadget, dude, because this gadget allows Doug's next attack to do double the damage. So if you like to go aggro and attack enemies, this gadget is perfect because Doug will do 4,800 damage on his next attack. Why is this brawler so broken, dude? I'm giving the number 9 spot to Kaze, and she is definitely a brawler that you should max out this season. Now, Kaze is a bit complex and difficult to learn because of the fact that she's 2 brawlers in one. Wow, Supercell. But once you know how to properly use Kaze, she's extremely strong in 3v3 matches and does a crazy amount of damage. Now, the fact that you can quickly switch between Kaze's modes makes her very broken, especially with this build right here, dude. Her Geisha aspect also does a crazy amount of damage if you manage to hit enemies with this triangle thing, and if you ever need to attack enemies long range, literally just switch to her ninja mode, which also does a solid amount of damage. I find Kaze really good in game modes like Brawl Ball and Gem Grab. Both of her modes are just too strong and counters a lot of brawlers. Kaze's hypercharge is also extremely strong, and it's a great add-on if you plan on maxing her out. Now, the hypercharge charge rate did get nerfed slightly in the recent balance changes, but it doesn't matter. This brawler is still in the meta, okay? And if you want to switch between Kaze's modes a bit faster and also heal more, you can use these 2 gears and boom, you have a very broken Kaze build that will get you a bunch of wins, okay? And yeah, if I hit this robot 3 times with the Kaze triangle thing, you have to like and subscribe, okay? All right, that's 1 time, that's 2, and do we get the 3rd one? Yes, we do. Go like and subscribe. Coming in at number 8 is the legend himself, Griff. Now, if you've been looking for a controller brawler to max out, Griff Gaming is a solid option. He has a crazy amount of range, first of all, which pretty much allows him to camp behind walls and spam attack enemies from far away, so that makes him a really good pick in game modes like Bounty. Now, Griff does do more damage the closer he is to the enemy, but he still does a decent amount of damage from the long range. But Griff's crazy range isn't even the main reason why you should max him out. The main reason is actually his good old hypercharge. Because of Griff's crazy range, it's pretty easy to use this hypercharge and you won't really miss. The hypercharge pretty much buffs Griff's super by multiplying more of the banknotes he shoots when the super is returning. The super also has a damage buff, so the damage output is extremely insane with this hypercharge. And if you thought that that was it, the hypercharge also allows the super to go through walls, bro. If this isn't enough reasons for you to max out Griff, I don't even know at this point, bro. Griff is honestly a versatile brawler and he's great in most 3v3 game modes, so if you plan on maxing him out, make sure to buy his insane broken hypercharge. Alright, I'm putting Lou on this list for like the 3rd season in a row, I think. So if you somehow haven't maxed him out yet, let me tell you why you should. Lou is one of those brawlers that you can use when you're drafting last minute in ranked or something. He has a crazy amount of range to start off, and if you manage to hit your shots, you can do some crazy damage, okay? Lou also has an extremely fast reload speed, so even if you end up missing your shots, you can just spam more shots, okay? And the fact that Lou can freeze up his enemies for 1.5 seconds is actually crazy. Now, if you plan on maxing out Lou, I highly suggest using this build right here because it is literally an infinite freeze build. I mean, his star power has freeze, his gadget has freeze, even his hypercharge has freeze, dude. And of course, his gear helps him charge up his super much faster, and his super freezes enemies. Lou also has a good amount of health at the max level, and if you decide to add the shield gear like I did, that brings his health up to 7,300, which is almost as much health as a maxed out Shelly. And yeah, Lou is also good in game modes like Hot Zone because what you can do is hypercharge and throw your super onto the Hot Zone, and your enemies literally can't do anything, bro. Lou is also a solid pick in Brawl Ball and Gem Grab. The next brawler that you need to max out right now is B. Now, if you've been looking for a sniper to max out, B is a sniper that's currently in the meta and you should consider maxing her out. I honestly think that B is one of the best snipers in the game right now because of how crazy her damage output is. Now, she does do 1,600 damage per attack, which may sound like nothing, but when she has this angry bee thing buzzing around her, that 1,600 damage turns into 4,400 damage, dude. And the angry bee always comes after you get one hit with her normal attack, so B's damage output output is actually insane. On top of that, her super slows down enemies. So what you can do with B is use her super and just spam attack the enemy that's slowed down. And if you're wondering which game modes B is good in, well, she's pretty solid in any 3v3 game mode, to be honest, because of her insane damage output and range. And if you plan on maxing out B, this build right here is extremely solid for her. Now, I don't really think that her hypercharge is that necessary, and you can still get away with using B without the hypercharge. But if you have some extra coins lying around, it never hurts to have a hypercharge equipped, unless it's pearls. But yeah, the next brawler that you need to max out this season is Kenji. Now, this brawler has been in the meta for a good few months now, and the main reason for that is obviously his hypercharge. Kenji's hypercharge mechanics are just so broken, dude. His hypercharge pretty much allows the super to sort of turn into a Tara grab, and enemies sort of get pulled into the middle. And he ends up teleporting to the middle of this X thing right here instead of returning to the starting location of his super. So literally all you do is hypercharge your enemies and then spam dash them, and you will deal a crazy amount of damage. Kenji's overall mechanics are also really good. His attack itself does 1,500 damage per hit, which is extremely solid for an assassin brawler. And he also has a crazy amount of health for an assassin brawler. I mean, 7,600 health, dude. That is crazy, dude. Kenji is a solid brawler in 3v3 game modes and even rank, but if you want to fully take advantage of this brawler and get as many wins as possible, you need to max him out and buy his hypercharge. This is arguably one of the best hypercharges in the game right now. The next brawler on this list is Charlie. Now, Charlie actually got a buff recently, which makes her worth maxing out this season. The buff pretty much increased her main attack range, and now she has some insane range, dude. And for reference, this is how much range she has, dude. And she's not even a marksman, bro. Charlie also does 1,600 damage per attack, so the crazy range along with her damage output makes her extremely good in 3v3 game modes. Now, I'm gonna be completely real with you. Her hypercharge isn't really the best. So if you decide to max out Charlie, you can get away with using her without her hypercharge, because honestly, the main reason why everyone is using Charlie is because of her insane range and damage output. Charlie is honestly a solid pick in 3v3 game mode, so you can even draft her in ranked if you wanted to, but it depends on the map and your team's comp. Her spiders gadget is also pretty good as a distraction or as a mini shield, but they almost die instantly because of the low health that they have, so don't rely on them, okay? But yeah, we have made it to the top 3 brawlers that you should max out this season, and number 3 is going to Cordelius Gaming. Now, Cordelius got a juicy buff in the recent balance changes, which makes him a great brawler to max out right now. His base damage ended up being increased, so he does a good amount of damage now. This is how much damage he does for reference. And the second ammo does 30% more damage because of his good old star power. Cordelius also has a very fast movement speed, so it's really easy to dodge enemy attacks and catch up to them if they're running away from you. His poison mushroom gadget is also crazy and pretty much prevents the enemy from attacking for 1 second if you hit them. This can allow you to easily eliminate the enemy because the only thing that they can do for that 1 second is just run away. His hypercharge is honestly not too bad either. It pretty much slows enemies down in his Shadow Realm super, so it's basically a free elimination if you can hit your shots. But the main reason why you should max out Cordelius is because of his crazy damage output. I'm giving the number 2 spot to RT Gaming, and you need to max him out right now. Right now, dude. And that is because of his insane broken laser hypercharge thing, dude. Now, before I yap about this hypercharge, let's talk about some other reasons why you should max him out. RT is a great damage dealer brawler primarily because of his crazy range. He also does a solid 1,400 damage per attack and has 7,800 health at the max level. I personally love the out of line gadget because it instantly charges RT's super, and this star power right here prevents him from taking more damage when he split up. Now on to the main reason why you should max him out, his hypercharge. What in the world is this creation, bro? When using RT's hypercharge, he pretty much has these laser things circling around his head and his legs, and the radius and damage is actually insane. I mean, just imagine leaving the legs behind a wall and you activate the hypercharge. It is just game over at this point, dude. And of course, the lasers can go through the walls. And just for reference, this is how much damage his hypercharge does. Why, bro? But yeah, we are on to the final brawler on this list that you need to max out this season, and that is the good old cat, Mr. Kit Gaming. Now, if you live under a rock, Kit also had his hypercharge released, and of course, it's completely breaking the game. Now, before I yap about Kit's hypercharge, let's talk about his mechanic. Kit does 2,000 damage per attack, which is insane for a support brawler, and he also has 6,000 health. Kit can also hop onto teammates and heal them, which is pretty much a support aspect. His attack also changes while he's on a teammate, and he throws exploding yarn balls, which do 3,200 damage. Is this even a support support brawler at this point, dude. He also gets stuck onto enemies during the super, which allows teammates to easily whack them out of existence. And Kit's cardboard box gadget is a literal piece of art, dude. Now onto his hypercharge gaming. Now you know how Kit gets stuck onto an enemy when he uses a super? Well, with the hypercharge, his super allows him to stun the enemy instead, and he's not stuck on the enemy this time. So he can literally attack normally during a super. Now this hypercharge is extremely broken because his super is very easy to charge, so you can easily use at least 2 supers during his hypercharge. He also gets a 25% speed boost and 25% damage boost, so the damage output during his hypercharge is insane. So if you decide to max out Kit, definitely buy his hypercharge because it is way too broken, dude. But yeah, if you enjoyed this video, click on this video to see a full guide on how to complete records fast in Brawl Stars.